Now, having read through your manifesto, it strikes me there's quite a funny mixture in there. You've got this high-tech IT jargon on one side, and then you've got these really quite romantic and idealist things, such as getting rid of drug patents, reform the libel law, forcing by-elections when the politician maybe isn't up to scratch. Could you not be accused of, promising these very socially positive things, just because you're realistically not going to be in a position after this election where you're going to have to implement the changes?
That's something, certainly an accusation that can be levelled at us, but I'd like to say that everything in our manifesto is actually realistic and deliverable. We're not making any promises that would actually require new taxes. In fact, if everything in our manifesto was pushed through, there would be no extra taxes at all. It wouldn't actually cost a penny to do any of these things. What we're trying to do is we're trying to write a manifesto that when the party gets bigger, we can carry forward. It's a base on which to build and to get people talking about all these issues. The reason it's a mixture of moral points and then very technical points is because in order to do the very moral things that we're trying to do, we do need to think about technology. We need to think about how copyright works on the internet. We do need to think about how patents work now they're being used in a slightly different way. Are the incentives that patents put in place delivering useful things, or are they delivering problematic behaviours? We need to think about what the law is incentivising and get those incentives right so that companies behave in ways that we'd like them to behave.
So you see, it's kind of like an educational process that you're going through at the minute. You're trying to teach society that these issues, while they may not realise them now, are only going to become more and more significant in the future.
Exactly. There's a whole lot of things that politicians haven't been talking about, and we really need to get them talking about these things. And the way to do that, for us as a party, I think is the way the Greens have operated their campaign over the years. They've never had a member of Parliament, but all the other parties are falling over themselves to look environmentally friendly because they're scared of losing votes to the Greens. And that's really what I think the Pirate Party can do, is they can raise these issues and make the other parties think, hang on, we are losing votes because we pushed through the Digital Economy Bill. This is costing us at the ballot box. I think that's why I really need to try and get people out there and voting for pirate candidates, is because at the moment the politicians don't see why they should listen to reason. So it's really important, I think, that we get these messages through and we get people having a debate about these issues. And it's actually working already. I was quite shocked to read an article in The Economist the other day where they were talking about copyright reduction. I mean, that's a big step forward that people are talking about this. And the amazing thing is that everybody in the comments section has come back and said, yes, there is a very, very strong case for reducing copyright. We have let the lobbyists distort the law and push it well beyond the bounds of what's useful for society and useful for business.
So do you believe there's quite a fertile ground out there for you to harvest some quite positive support?
Oh yes, there's nothing in our manifesto that's ridiculous or extreme or radical. And that's something of an uphill battle for me, obviously with the name the Pirate Party, which lots of people will think.
People think you're going to run around with crop jeans and a bandana over your head, surely?
Yes, but the message that I'm trying to get across is that we're very serious about this. We're a proper political party, we're a proper political movement, and our policies aren't extreme. They're actually very sensible. They're generally about things that the other parties aren't talking about. And there are things that do need to be changed in the law to bring it up to speed with technology where we stand at the moment. And we don't want to sleepwalk into a surveillance state because we haven't put laws in place about how much surveillance should be allowed. We don't want to sleepwalk into a situation where there are CCTV cameras on every corner because we didn't think to write a law about how they should be limited. We don't want to sleepwalk into a situation that we already have, where we've got 7 million file sharers in this country by government statistics. That's more than 10% of the whole population who are being criminalised by the Digital Economy Bill. We need to sit down and think about, should we stop file sharing? Can we stop file sharing? And if we can, how much of our freedoms do we have to give away in order to stop file sharing? And that debate just hasn't happened about the Digital Economy Bill. They've ignored the fact that you can't stop file sharing, that even if you turn the whole internet off, kids will be swapping memory sticks at the playground the very next day. They've ignored the huge cultural benefits of file sharing. I mean, the government spends over £1 billion a year on the library system that's specifically there to give the public access to copyrighted works. But they haven't thought, we've got this system being run by the public for free, takes no tax, that gives the public access in the same way that libraries do to books, to CDs and films. Surely if they're funding that for books to the tune of £1 billion a year, surely there's a value to having it done for free for other media. But no, that value has been completely ignored in this debate. They haven't even thought about, maybe we should allow file sharing. So we want to have that debate.